Welcome one and all. I'm in a giddy mood today. Paperwork for the trike is gone. That's now been posted off. Flew through an MOT. In fact, the MOT man was doing everything in his power to find something to fail at. I do not know why. I think he might have been one of these biker prejudice types, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. He couldn't find nothing. He even opened the fuel cap to check it for fuel before he even started the MOT. He checked wheel alignment on the front. Never had that done before, but then the MOT man I had before was a lazy blighter. So yeah, okay, it passed. No issues. Ratrod, okay. Do you remember on the last video when I was assessing everything that when I turned that engine over by hand you could hear a little squeak? I said I need to lubricate the cylinders. So this is where I'm at. Right, I have had all but one spark plug out and I have lubricated with WD-40. This thing is going to smoke like a pig. However, I didn't really need to do that, although it won't hurt it. I didn't need to do it. This is the old flywheel from the Gems. The one I've got to put on is down here, but I've got to clean it up, which is why I haven't fitted it yet. You see the marker? That was the squeak. Enough said, huh? Easy mistake. So we're clean filmed over the carbs for the time being, because I am concerned water's going to get in there. That's what happened to the last one. So I think what we're going to do to start this job off with, I need to find a fuel tank. I think I might actually, while it's sitting here, cut that off. I've got to order some plasma cutting tips and I can't do that for a couple of weeks, so everything's going to be a bit on the slow side. This video may go up early before I even start anything. I've got to cut them off first because I welded them to the chassis. There's a big no-no if you're trying to get things through without IVA tests, but we'll get that back off because we don't need it. I want to get the lights off as well. I don't want to smash those because I'm going to reuse them, and we'll pull that off, lay it over there somewhere and just plain and simply cut it up. The next thing I want to do is go down to the scrapyard. I need to get that diesel fuel tank that's on that Range Rover so I can put it underneath here. Now I've got everything gone, there's no reason why I can't get it under there. Then I want to plumb up the fuel lines properly and put another fuel pump on. I don't know if the fuel pump's any good that I got for this. If I'm honest, it might be a load of rubbish, who knows. Then we've got to replace all the pipe work, replumb the engine up, and then we might be in a position when I've got a battery sorted out, because there is a battery tray at the back as well, but I may have to cut that off because it might be in the way of the fuel tank. But we'll get a battery on it and we'll put a hose pipe, we'll block the bottom pipe off but put a little tiny hole in it, the water system I'm referring to. We'll put that pulley back on as well, and we'll put a hose pipe on it, and then we'll drive it forward if we can get it started, and then we'll take it up the top. Now in the meanwhile I need to clear all this stuff here. I need to return that dolly to my mate who very kindly lent it. Andy, thank you very much, that was a great help, thank you indeed. Anyway, as I was saying, we've got to move all of this, and I want to clear this as well. I went out and get my boy to pick this bloody thing up, an old wood burner he wants. I don't know why, it's all broke and the chimneys have got to go, and then we move this up to there. And then I'm going to assess all the stuff I've got left over for the Range Rover. I know the radiator's knackered, that cooler is knackered. Sorry, which radiator was I pointing? That one I meant, so I need to get another one of those radiators. And I think I might just cut the bonnet up because I have no intentions in refitting any of this stuff. So the bonnet can be chopped up, the wings can be chopped up because they're not going back on. We don't need any of it. The only thing I need is that, and we'll cut that up as well. A bit of a waste, a lot of work went into that, but it's just not going to work. And then we'll look at trying to do something with what's left. Okay, before I start all of that, I think the best thing I can do is get that engine replumbed back up with the water system, the power brakes and the power steering. Which isn't going to be easy because a lot of the old stuff from the older engines. I haven't got any more. When I did my big shed blitz out, instead of tidying up and putting things in boxes, I've just got a bit overwhelmed with it all. Some of you might understand that, and I just literally threw it all on a scrap pile. Yeah, so I'm just going through all the rubbish I've got. We know we can't run serpentine on that because I don't have one of these that can go back on, that will stop the oil from coming out of the seal. I mean, I'd love to put that back on, but it goes too far in and doesn't stick out far enough. I could, no I couldn't, I was going to say I could screw onto that, but I can't even do that. So serpentine is not an option, and to be honest with you, finding a belt that will fit will be extremely difficult. So I think the best thing I can do is put all the V-belt stuff back on. Now I found that cap. I've got the original Gems oil pump, which is a much more superior oil pump to the old, was it not? Yeah, power steering one I'm talking about. It was much more superior than the old style stuff. So, and because it's a slightly newer unit, might be a better option. And I have found, oh, it's an engine mount. I have found, well look, let's go in the shed. Messy in here at the moment, I need to have another clear up. I will do it. Here's the issue. I have an alternator, and I don't have a V-belt for that, but I can get one possibly. I think the last V-belt alternator I had lying around here was absolutely knackered, and I threw it away, I do believe. So we've got to find a V-belt for that. We've got the oil pump here, but it's on a bracket that probably isn't going to go back on the engine. We have that. I think there's another one floating around here somewhere, but that won't fit this, and I don't think there's any more. Hang on, no, that's a serpentine in there. There's a pump at the back. I don't know if any of you lot can see that, but ouch, God, the hell that hurt. You can see I'm still pretty clogged up. What I didn't throw away, I did throw in the bin. There you go, there's the first two pulleys in place. We've cleaned up all that inner shaft. Had to jack the engine up to get that one back on. It's pretty rough, I won't deny, but that's good enough for the moment at least. That one's in. That one I wouldn't go on because it was a double V-belt. So I put the grinder to the second one and then flap a disc over the top. That's now on, but we've hit a problem. I've thrown away all the bracketry. All of it. The only ones I got left is that one down there, and I can't figure out how that goes on. And an aluminium one which is broke. I generally don't think there's any more. So it's looking like I'm going to have to manufacture some stuff. So this plate that can go straight down there, and I'm going to fix, where is it, that pump solidly mounted in line with that pulley. I actually want that one gone, and that'll go down the bottom, and then the alternator I'll weld a block of steel to that so as I can run those 2 points there on the steel so as it can hinge, and then one of these here will be bolted up to here on an adjuster or something, and then we can get away with one complete belt. And I want to try and keep it as snug as I can in there, because when we cut that side bulge off, we're going to be coming across here. Those turrets will be on the outside, but we'll come across here, and the radiator's got to go in that gap. I'm not actually sure how all this is going to happen at the moment, but something like that. But I need it's too hot. There is a nice breeze, but still doesn't change the fact that it's hot. So I'm going in. Okay guys, this is the closing video. We've got a nut in there. there isn't actually an official thread in there yet. I tried to get tap in there, but I couldn't. But I just drove the bolt in just to see if it would hold, and it is. So we've got that one in there. We've just got to put a washer on that one because I had to oversize it because got the alignments a little bit cocked up. That one's in, that one's in, that plate solid. Tomorrow, if I can do this without things falling on my flipping foot again, I will attempt to mount that, and that one is going to be permanently placed somewhere around here. In fact, I could even go as far as welding that on and then just welding some plate around that area on both sides, but I don't know if those two stupid screws are going to be strong enough to hold it, so I think we are going to have to reinforce it a little bit more behind, just so I've got something in the front for when I put the tension on. So this shouldn't be too difficult, but the alternator is going to be the hardest of the two because I've got to find a pulley. I'm flipping sure that somewhere around here there is a V-belt for an alternator. I just can't blinking remember where I saw one. I have pulled a lot of alternators apart over the years, changing them over from V-belt to serpentine, and I'm 90% sure I've got a couple kicking around because I always keep them just in case there's a bit of equipment that needs something, and I don't know where on earth anything is. Could even be one in there for all I know. Could be one in there. I mean, we've got this, which is a motor pulley. I mean, we could drill that out and mount that, but the size of that pulley is a lot bigger than the one that's on there. But I'm not sure that that's going to make a lot of difference because alternators, I mean, they spin at various revolutions, but they produce one current, unlike a dynamo. The harder you spin a dynamo, the more power you get out of it. So something like this possibly might work. I mean, the sizes are not that off, so I think that's worth further investigation. Right, I'm packing up for the night. Right, I just pulled that pulley off, so yes, this is going to work. I will have to spin this on a lathe though, and it looks like I will have to put a step like on that. It'll be slightly out, but it's just to hold the bearing, I'm assuming, or something fixed to. But then saying that, I could always use washers. I'll lathe that tomorrow. Sod it. So we're missing something this morning, Sunday, which is a bit annoying, and that is the alignment on the water pump against the main crank pulley. I'm trying to set the pump up to the crank, and then suddenly I realise that that's out. Now normally if it was the other way around I'd just put spacers on, but on that one I've actually got to take the blinking crank off, pulley off again, and I don't know, pull it apart. But the problem is the nuts that hold this on are hidden inside here. They're a nightmare to get to, I don't mind admitting. Okay, 2 hours later I have a spacer. Believe it or not, it was one of them. I cut that section, or that part of the spacer in half, which is where that rubber is. We've got the pinhole, so we'll line that up to there as we would. And we've got the dust cover part here, which is this one's a little bit tragic actually. It's got a bolt in there. Have we got another one of them? Why is there a bolt stuck in there? I know we've got another one because I took one off. I just don't know where I put it. There it is. Sort of state as that in. That's a better condition. Right, so we'll lower that one onto there somehow, because we can. There you go, we'll do that, and then we'll get the pulley and I wished I kept that lip actually that we had here. I shouldn't have took that off. So if you're doing what I'm doing because you can't get the flywheel to work, don't take the lip off. Yeah. Okay. I had to make another sleeve to go on the insides. There's something really weird about the crank on this 4 litre. You remember this is a 4 litre GEMS engine, so it's a little different in places to the standard 3.5 stuff that I'm using, and I found that that wouldn't line up with that. Now it could just be that this is the wrong one for that pump, could be, I don't know, but this definitely wasn't lining up with that, so about as close as I'm going to get it. Might be out just a fraction, could possibly do with a spacer in there, but we'll see where we end up first. If we align the oil to the top, then we've only got to literally pack that one out with one more piece of steel, which I have, and we'll be good to go. I didn't have any nylocks, so I used connecting nuts instead to lock it down with. I just thought it looked better, but I'm hoping it won't play havoc with the balance. And we drilled them out to 10mm because those other bolts that were going through that were really quite loose, and when I drove the 10mm drill bit through and put the bolts in, it was actually a lot tighter and a lot more snug. So I am a lot more happy with the result of this. The washer, believe it or not, because I couldn't find one, is a grinding disc adapter. It's all I had. I've got loads of those because I keep blowing grinders up. So there you go, guys, that's that one done. Now we're going to reassess this one, and then we can do the alternator, which again is more lathe work. What a budge. I got called a cowboy on one of the ratrod episodes about 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't hold it against anybody to say that today. However, I would like comments kept civil. Yep, that ain't gone at all. Well, what I've got to do is I've got to get 12mm. That's what that is there. I've got to get a 12mm connector nut, spin it on the lathe, reduce it down because I need a head to be here, but I need a tube cylinder shaft to push that against there because that one's bent because I lost my temper, as I do. That might then push that pump further in. I might even get rid of the washer actually, thinking about it, looking at the angle of everything, which will then hold everything fast. I've got to take this all off again anyway, so and it's got to be tidied up no end. Okay, Monday afternoon. I couldn't be bothered to do an end video. Look, this really hasn't gone that well. Oh, this has been a pain in the butt from start to finish. It's untidy for starters. It kind of works, but these are not lining up like I was hoping. I've got to take it all apart, which I'm dreading. I've got another bolt and washer to put in over that one, and I've got no holding plate at the bottom now. There's movement there, as you can see, so we need a holding plate. So I just might weld a piece of steel under here that can go to that one, but I don't know if I've got any bolts long enough to fit that. They're all UNF and stuff. Having saying that though, this is the later 4 litre, so it might not be UNF. All a pain in the arse. Yeah, actually it will be UNF. Pulled it off, cleaned it up as best as I can get it. Missed a bit, damn. The tensioner isn't working as well as it could, but it's in. I welded up the nut onto the actual framework of this, so it is what it is, isn't it? Hopefully I think that's going to jump, but then it's an old belt anyway, stretched. We'll get that belt replaced, we'll wind it out, put a longer nut in. We're going to drill that out to a 12mm instead of a 10mm, because then it's got a room for adjustment then, because as it comes in it's going down and it's bending the nut up, which I knew would happen. I just didn't think I needed to wind it in as far as I had to. That one bit me. So 3 bolts holding that on. Seriously do with another gripper down here somewhere, but there's nowhere to bolt it to. I thought that thread went into the head, but it don't. Sorry, into the block, but it doesn't. So for now anyway, we'll leave it as it is. All I need to do is to get it from here up to there at the moment, and I need a working water pump and a working power steering, because that tyre is knackered and I can't get air in it. That's all I need. I won't put the radiator back on, but we're going to have a constant flow of cold water going through this while I shift it, which is about as best as it's going to get, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, look, just to show you that the rat rod is coming together. In the next video I will head off to the yard. You won't see that process because I don't like me filming down there, but my plan is to make a start, if I can motivate myself, to get all of that buck off and make a start on that. But I need some plasma cutting tips. I haven't got any, and Machine Mart don't sell many for a lot of money. And I mean a lot of money. They charge the earth. If I order some Chinese ones, they may take a while to get here. That's the only problem. So I might shift my arse on to Wish, sort that issue out. The other thing I want to do is get the stereo out, get the windscreen out, get the doors off, and pretty much go from there. And the rest of this is going to be plasma cut. So we're going to get the buck off, and we'll start getting the rest of this engine up and running, and then we'll finally move it out of here, have a bit of a clear up. It's long overdue. Sort all this stuff out. We'll see if we can get down there. See if we can get down there and clear that. I tried to weed kill it, but it hasn't really prevailed very well, I'm afraid. Bit of a mess. Did try. We'll have to get some more, and we'll get all this stuff shifted down there. Got to take that dolly back to my mate, but I don't know what's going on with that trike at the moment, whether DVLA want me to take it to an inspection garage of their choice. I just don't know at the moment. Right, until the next one, I'll see you later. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments, guys, appreciate it. And this was just a little something that's turned out to be a lot winded, very for a job that should have been 5 minutes, but there you go, that's just me. See you later, bye.